thank you so much for making time for this very, very, I don't know, risky, you know, pushing the envelope, you know, trying out new things, new ideas. So Ziyanda knows that I love DIY. So one day in the makeup room, she's like, oh, when are we doing DIY stuff? And like, oh my God, actually. Yeah, she's just now from America. She just elected Donald Trump. Can you believe it?
I didn't elect Donald Trump.
You elected Donald Trump.
Today I'm gonna channel my Genie D energy. Top bill. Fun.
Welcome to my garden, where I'm going to be having my crafts party this festive season. We're going to be teaching Ziyanda a bit of DIY. You know, she wants to build a bookshelf. Yes. Hello.
Hello, Aldrin.
Welcome to my homeses.
To quote one former president, thanks for having me.
Jeez, you're such a political reporter here. She just knew where that phrase comes from.
Hopefully, this will help me relax and think about something else other than the politics for once.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have you here. We're going to try something very, very difficult. So we're going to build stuff while having constructive conversations as well.
Yeah.
Balance that all out. Joining us as well is Ngcobo, who I call our principal because he is our DIY guru.
Yes.
Hey. Hello.
Guru.
Hi, Guru.
Is
Hi,
it too
Principal.
heavy? Is it too heavy? is guru too heavy for you as well?
Too heavy. You do this with anything.
This or press briefing?
This doesn't talk back. This doesn't call you names.
Oh yeah,
this doesn't accuse you of having a narrative or an agenda.
Push the agenda.
And I'm in charge of my time. I don't sit in a press briefing for 3 hours.
Do you have any one of those moments, like a press briefing that stands out for you?
One of the most recent ones, there are quite a few, but the one where Floyd Shivambu had left the EFF, he didn't want to give us his reasons. He said, you know, giving his reasons for leaving the EFF at Winnie Madikizela House would be disrespectful. And then I think a week or two later, the MK party had a press briefing, and there's Floyd Shivambu clad. Stop it! Behave!
I remember that silhouette.
There is Floyd Shivambu in, you know what it was like when they formed the EFF and just how much he believed in it. Seeing him just wearing a golf shirt with the Mkhonto Sizwe party branding, it was like, it felt odd, but it was also interesting. I mean, the press briefing went on for almost 3 hours. My God. But we got to hear from former president and just how much they were heaping praises on each other. But then you rewind back to when Floyd was in the youth league.
Yeah.
And that Utin Baba. Ukul madam. So Utin. So it's just a testament to our South African political landscape. You cannot predict anything. We need to understand why people vote the way they do. And I don't think the traditional political parties have understood that, over and above, of course, not delivering on past promises and people moving beyond struggle stories or liberation movement kind of politics. So there's a lot that political parties need to think about. But I think we haven't fully understood why people vote the way they do and what encourages them.
I think it's also about, with political scholars especially, in academics, now that there is this particular shift, what does it mean for knowledge creation and how we understand politics to be? Because a lot of the scholars are actually wrong.
Yes.
They're actually wrong.
Yes, especially with Donald Trump, for
Yeah.
an example. And what I found so fascinating about that election was the simplicity. Yes, he had vulgarities and swearing at, Kamala Harris.
Joe Biden is asleep. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce.
Literally taking a page from Ronald Reagan in 1980, and the simple line was, across the board, has your life changed in the last 4 years? Sounds simple, right? But it actually resonates.
Oh, I don't think so.
Low IQ.
Okay, so we're gonna fix this.
We can
Donald
fix
Trump
this.
is gonna fix this.
Are we gonna build a wall? I can't quite build a wall. But the similarity in issues as well, right? So issues, bread and butter issues were big in the US election, the cost of living.
Yes.
Immigration, oh my word. You think that Julius Malema was, wrapped around the ankles for wanting open borders? That is literally one of the things that contributed to the Democratic Party losing. People really wanted to deal with the issue of the border between the US and Mexico.
Yep.
And so it's issues, it's the failure of governments, it's the failure to translate whatever might have happened. Because, I can't say for sure whether the Biden administration didn't try to deal with it, but people only know what is a lived experience for them. And they elect you into power because they expect you to deal with them, right? So Donald Trump also had a reputation of getting things done. You could argue what he gets done. He said he'd build a wall.
And there was a wall.
He built a wall.
Yeah.
So, politics.
And we are building a bookshelf. How do you feel? After all of this work?
No, this is a lot of work.
What happened to your energy? It's gone.
No, I'm here. But woo, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of drilling. It's a lot of...
But certainly not as hectic as politics.
No.
Not as hectic as politics.
At least mentally
you've done
speaking.
really well with these three.
Thank you.
So I have
But
to say,
one,
so
two,
we're
three.
going to put these together in the next short while. But I just wanted to say that I am immensely proud of you.
No.
I've never told you this, but I'm immensely proud of you.
Why must you make me blush on TV?
I think there's something quite incredible about women in politics. And a friend of mine and I always have this conversation, and she always says that, but friend, you know that women are killing it in politics when it comes to reporting, and I have to give it to you guys.
Thank you, but it's taken a while for people to acknowledge that, I think. It hasn't always been easy, but there are people who've been before me, but I think the space is filled with more women now. I remember when I started off in politics, and I started off in KZN at the peak of political killings, and someone said to me, oh, why don't you just leave it to the boys?
Really?
Politics to the boys. Yes. And knowing me being me, I enjoy a good challenge.
But we need to get working.
Yeah.
We need to put this now together. Well done.
Thank you.
So look at this.
We finished.
So this is it. Okay,
Finished.
I need to show you all of these. 1,
2, 3. It's
Look
all
at
here.
this.
I did it. Thank you, friend. Right. So now, remember, we're gonna stay, and then we're gonna put fabric. And you are supplying me with all that fabric, so I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. It's going to be lovely.
So are we putting it all the way to the edge, or?
I would love to have it. I would love to have it all the way here.
Like
Let's
here.
problem mute again. I need to have back.
So who taught you all of this? Self-taught?
Self-taught.
YouTube?
YouTube.
I knew it.
Instagram. Okay, I need to cut.
This is what it's gonna look like.
Yes.
Okay,
So just need to make sure that you have enough fabric for all sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
So this gives you an idea of more or less what it's going to look like. It's going to be gorgeous. What it's going to look like.
It's going to have legs at the bottom.
Yeah.
To lift it up a bit. This is the fabric. Love. My books are going to have a... So we must leave a gap. Because remember the books
Yeah.
have to be able to live.
But you
Oops.
put in.
Okay. So as you guys know that...
You can plan all you want.
yeah.
But...
Yeah.
Mother Nature.
will be Mother Nature. It's raining. So we
Yep.
had to take a bit of a pause.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and see if we can get the fabric on in the meantime. Because as they teach us in television and broadcasting,
The
especially,
show
the
must
show
go on.
must go on.
Yes.
And there's always a deadline.
So I think there is a fear around power tools, and it's warranted. I was terrified when I first started in this space, but I think what's important to know is if you're following the right safety precautions, you're wearing your goggles, you've hopefully had a read through the instruction manual, you know how to hold your tool properly. The one thing I can say is these tools are really not as scary and intimidating as you think. I don't flinch at all anymore. I don't even think about it anymore. I grab any one of my saws, pop them on, I know how to work it. I make sure that I've got my goggles on, and you get going. And I think it's just a matter of practice makes perfect. The more you work with that tool, the more comfortable you get. But what I can say is they really aren't as scary as people think.
So welcome back, guys. Remember last time Mother Nature happened? So we're back again. So we're going to show you how far we are with that. Now we are going to stain these with, as we said earlier on,
Dark mahogany.
dark mahogany.
Yes, like mine.
Yeah. Like what?
Like mine.
Like yours?
Mine, like mine.
Yes. So we're going to do the dark mahogany now, and we're going to stain these. Let me ask you quickly, what do you love about being a black person? Black woman?
A black woman.
Yeah.
I love the fact that as a black woman, you can be anything you want to be. I know that sounds cheesy, but just think about it. Let's talk about the hair. Today I'm in a wig, tomorrow I'm in braids.
Yeah.
I live in a world where the feistiness of a black woman is becoming more and more acceptable.
Yeah.
There are many things to love about being a black woman, actually.
Do you think women are misunderstood? And to what extent?
I'm not sure if I'd say black women are misunderstood. I'd say black women are still trying to do many things, work through the system, work around it, fight against it. I also feel like sometimes, like, why must we keep fighting? How many times must we have the conversation about the isms? I don't want to be a Mbogoto anymore.
And somebody once said that, they're like, you know what, guys,
Sing it
I don't
right.
want to be in
No, I don't want to be in
Mbogoto
Mbogoto anymore because it's like the conversation about racism in this country. How many times must black people explain certain things about racism? I know there's a push against what they call wokeism, but I do genuinely believe that if people want to bring about change, it is a negotiation, but it has to come from them. Yeah. So all the isms, sexism, racism, all the isms that you can think of, people are tired of explaining themselves. How many times must I explain sexism to you for you to understand that you are actually perpetuating a system that was designed to put me in a particular place? So yes, of course, I'll be misunderstood when my voice is louder than others because I'm still fighting to be heard, and I'm fighting against mansplaining and all of that.
How does that then, manifest itself in the type of work that you do? And also, like as we said the other time, that it's politics, and there aren't as many women reporters in politics as well.
Yeah.
Although you guys are killing it. I have to
Thank
say,
you.
like, you guys
there are more
really
women now than there were before. We're not necessarily reinventing the wheel. It's actually just picking up the mantle of what other women have done before. I think it starts with the little things, like people trying to speak over your voice when they speak to you, whether it's other male colleagues who are journalists or even the politicians. There's almost sometimes like just this boys' club. So even when, part of political journalism is cultivating sources. There's certain things that you fight off, like people hitting on you first before actually thinking they can talk about the work. You're like, well, sir, I'm actually here for umsebenzi, and actually this is why I'm here. I'm not here for anything else.
We don't speak a lot about that, actually.
It's very important because it's something that is spoken about, I think, in close circles. As female journalists, I think you do need that kind of community, but it's there, and it makes it very difficult.
Yeah. I've seen with some producers, especially women producers, when you go out, is how the newsmakers and even the audience would almost objectify the women producers, and I'm like, why is this? Because this is a professional we are speaking about here. This is a woman, yes, but she is working, and this is her professional space. This is what she's used to. Why do we make it so uncomfortable?
Systematic. There was a system created. Women are objectified. Women can only do certain chores. That I can't touch a machine like that. Gandhi. It's human beings who actually came up with certain concepts. And I think, when we talk about issues like gender-based violence, I really do feel like the emphasis does need to be on the boy child now. Are we talking enough to the boy child? How many times was the girl child? It's not got nothing to do with how they're dressed.
Yes.
Because when you're raped by a family member, it wasn't because of the size of their skirt. We need to be, so when we had the conversation about empowering women and lifting them up, I do think we also need to still have a conversation about how the boy child relates to this empowered woman who may earn more money than you, who may also be able to handle things, because then the roles change. So we also need to change the conscientization of how we think about how we exist as women, as men, as people, as communities. And I think that's why I enjoy politics so much, because I've seen just in this year alone with elections how communities have transformed so much, so rapidly. You've got to ask, that speech about the silent majority, is there something that we're missing about what people really want to see about communities, or are we going back to individualism? Just those kind of concepts.
Yeah. And those are things that, unfortunately, that we need to deal with as a country, and we can't run away from it. We need to face them head on, because here's the other thing about it, is that women ain't going anywhere.
Nah, and we need each other.
Yeah, we need each other.
We really do need each other.
They are here to stay. They are here to stay.
Yeah.
So make peace with it, and let's try and see how we work together. But also the ability to, the thing that you're speaking about, how do you conscientize black young men as they grow up, that you are going to meet women who are sometimes more powerful than you, more richer than you, have a solid network more than you, and sometimes they are the providers, and they want to, because it's part of the characteristics of the individual to say that I am actually the one who wants to provide.
But also culture, right? Culture evolves, culture changes, and so some people don't want to actually believe that culture can actually change.
It's the final nail, guys. Let's go. And ladies and gentlemen, this is it.
Look at
well done, well done, well fucking done.
This is. Thank you. We couldn't have done it without you. My word.
Yeah, all in a day's work, eh?
And neither confirm or deny.
Okay. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. So you and I need to go have our little chat.
Yes.
Yeah. So speaking actually about your mum, what does she say about Ziyanda?
I'm still her daughter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's immensely proud of me. And, you know, the funny thing is my mother was approached to be a broadcaster by the SABC back then.
Really?
And then my maternal grandfather said no, he didn't trust her. He thought maybe they were kidnapping her.
Yeah.
So in a very strange kind of way, I'm living out my mother's dream. She wanted to be a broadcaster on the SABC, so the generation, Yabo Kanye Jomo, and, you know, Mam Ngcobo Rodbom. That's what she wanted to do. So she's immensely proud, but she always says, you've dreamed bigger than I ever could have dreamed for you. And I think that for me is so special when your parent can say that.
Yeah. And what are those dreams? What are those dreams that you have for yourself?
So many, you know?
Yeah.
The world we live in now is amazing because you can do one thing and pivot to the next thing. Growing up, I wanted to be a president, and then...
Hey, listen, it's not too late.
Yeah, but proximity shows you, like, this gig is not that great, eh? Maybe. I'm not sure if I want to be president. And then, you know, in university, I did a double major honors in politics and international relations. I wanted to be a diplomat, actually. I've also got a passion for children. Yeah, children are very special. No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I do want children, not yet. You'd know, being a reporter, you're out in the streets.
There's a lot of work that goes
A lot of running around.
Yeah.
I can't be talking about family planning and being an absent man. Although, I mean, it's complex. It's not, it's not that simple, right? There are a whole lot of dynamics.
But, and that's the thing, right? Well, sometimes people would say that I don't want to have children because I'm scared of the type of world that I would be bringing the child in.
Yes.
But with that said, one thing that I'm always clear about is no matter what happens, there will always be a country, there will always be a South Africa. Whether Cyril Ramaphosa is the president or Julius Malema is the president or Helen Zille for that matter is the president, but there will always be a country. And I want to know from your end, considering the length and breadth that you've covered of the country, what are your hopes and aspirations for South Africa?
Firstly, I love this country. I think we don't have enough good PR. Other countries have good PR, but they're not as great as South Africa. I'm biased, yes, but really, I don't think we fully appreciate just how wealthy we are as a nation, you know, for many aspects. Culture, the people, the weather, literally the stuff that the touristy stuff, it's true. It's true. But when you talk about the dream for South Africa, equity, not equality, but equity, fair chances, a fair chance to life, giving people a chance to life. So, you know, one of the things about being a reporter is you sometimes come across extreme levels of poverty. I mean, I'll never forget how distraught I was. I think, I mean, I've covered many traumatizing stories, as I'm sure you have as well. But I think the 2022 floods, were really where nearly 500 people were killed was extreme for me. Just simply the levels of devastation, the conditions that people are living under. Like, this is how people live. And I felt so much guilt. You know, we went to an area, literally, it was like in a valley. There's no network. There's no, you know, clean running water. There was no electricity. They only had the clothes that they had on their back. They were, you know, trying to put together something to eat, like a little braai they'd managed to get started. So, you know, they were being visited by the local politicians. But I felt so bad that I'm leaving them behind, that, you know, the nighttime is coming and I'm going back to a hotel and I'll at least get to shower. I think we also need to ask ourselves, you know, how we can sustain the freedoms that we have, because they have to be fought for. It's a constant negotiation, it's a constant dialogue, it's a constant fight. It's just, it doesn't come for free.
And we love this country.
I love South Africa.
Ziyanda, thank you so much for making time.
Thanks for inviting me to your home.
And being a DIY queen.
I can add that on my CV, hallelujah.
Yes, all the best in your future endeavors. And I know that it's going to be totally amazing.
So
and I love that you keep on taking chances on yourself. It's very important.
And I love that you're very open about who you are too.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Someone give me a hug. Someone give me a hug.
Is Oprah hug or full hug?
No. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's the Oprah hug.
Okay.